Hey, welcome to this week's Stubby episode. Jonathan Lewis is going to be taking this one, and we want to take a moment and thank CK Worldwide for sponsoring this episode. If you haven't checked out all their TIG torches they have available, you'll be amazed at all the different types they have, all the way from their micro torches all the way up to big old 500 amp torches that'll get pretty much anything done that you need when it comes to really high amperage. Be sure to check out ckworldwide.com to see all the great TIG torches they have for this community. With that, here's Jonathan.
Hey, this is Jonathan Lewis. Welcome to another Stubby episode. Today's question comes from Zachary Kemp. His question is, aiming more toward new kids that are just starting out, let's say in a fab shop, when the other workers are giving you a hard time, when is it a good idea to keep your mouth shut, and when should you stick up for yourself? Well, Zachary, you've heard that old saying, when you're being picked on, you walk into a room, punch the guy right in the nose, and you'll win the day. But that's probably not the best answer in a workplace. And I'm just totally kidding. Don't do that. In all seriousness, as we looked at this question and it came in, I read it off to my wife, and she said, you probably ought to try to tackle that one, because I've had my time being picked on, and I don't know, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of an embarrassing thing in a way, but if it can help somebody else out, why not, right? So going back, I was picked on quite a bit, both in the workplace and in school and whatnot. And so I had to balance myself between sticking up for myself and, literally punching people in noses. And so, as I said, in the job, it's not the best place to be trying to do that kind of stuff. And so I learned when I was in the fab shops, there are certain things that you just, I guess, let go. They're just things that you just don't, they're no big deal. And I guess I had to learn for myself what was a big deal and what really wasn't. At the end of the day, words do hurt, and I'm not denying that at all. But sometimes, when you're being picked on, it's just for fun, or maybe in some cases, somebody is jealous of you or jealous of your position, or it could be a number of things. Maybe they're jealous that you well better than them. I don't know. But there are going to be times when you're going to be picked on, and I can't sit here and say that I know the answer for every single time that you're going to be picked on, when to say something and when to not. But I do feel that there is a line that can be crossed. And for every person, that line might be a little different. You might be able to take quite a bit from somebody so far as being picked on before you snap, so to speak. And then others, they might just take it all. And it doesn't seem to bother them whatsoever. I would highly advise, though, for anybody that is being picked on, to don't let things go on forever. Again, you don't want to, you kind of want to fit in. You don't want to be the rat and the squeal on everybody. But I have learned, and speaking from experience, that this kind of stuff can really affect your life. It can affect your marriage. It can affect your kids even, when you come home in a bad mood. And so you got to draw a line somewhere. And again, every scenario being different, every situation being different, you could talk to that person. I don't advise blowing up, and I don't advise punching people in the nose. But I would say try your best to try to talk to these individuals. Explain to them, hey, I don't appreciate it. It's uncalled for. Maybe people are going to continue to make fun of you, and then, maybe move on to a different place. Maybe you ask to be transferred into a different department. Again, what the answer is for you might not be the same answer it is for me. I know for myself, I was picked on quite a bit. And I had to just explain people, maybe I explained it in a little rougher way than I should, that, I didn't appreciate it. And, it's not helpful for me. It's not helpful for anybody else. And eventually, in all my cases that I can think of off the top of my head, the picking went away and people left me alone. And again, I just had to stick up for myself. And sometimes it's very uncomfortable, I will say that. Because you always, seems like anyway, you always want to fit in. You don't want to necessarily tell on somebody, and you want to be cool. That's what all of us kind of want to do, even today. There are opportunities and times where we just want to be cool. But when it starts to affect your attitude, and it starts to affect how you look at yourself, especially how you look at yourself. If you don't look at yourself in a positive way, your whole life's not going to be what it can be, what it should be. And so just stick up for yourself. Do the best you can. Let the little stuff go. And I try to look at things, when I'm being picked on, that, hey, this is not going to change my life. They make fun of me, or they stick grease up my glove, or, grease on my sweatband on my helmet. I mean, yeah, they're sometimes not very funny. But at the end of the day, some of those things aren't going to kill you. They're not going to kill nobody else. And sometimes they'll go away. Sometimes with the picking on, I want to throw out there too, some of this stuff just goes away on its own. If you go and acknowledge it, not always, I'm saying, but sometimes if you don't acknowledge it, sometimes that stuff kind of goes away. But I also will say, before I wrap this question up, that if you're new to anywhere, young, old, it doesn't really matter, it seems to be like you're going to get picked on. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's the way it should be, but it seems to be that's what happens. You're going to get picked on. And again, you just got to learn to deal with it the best that you can. I could give you specific scenarios, specific things that happened to me, and give you my answers, and they may or may not mean anything to you because, again, you're going to be in a different scenario. I know this is a unique question. It's not directly welding related, but it is related to life. All of us from time to time get picked on, and I don't think that ever stops. I still get picked on to this day, but I've learned to let things go, and I've learned that some things are just no big deal. Hope that helps. Hope that maybe it starts a conversation. I don't know. Maybe somebody's got a suggestion. Write the podcast, and be interested to see how you deal with being picked on. Thank you again, Zachary, for the question. We'll see you on the next Stubby episode.
Well, that's it for this week's Stubby episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'd like to take a moment and thank ckworldwide.com for sponsoring this Stubby, and be sure to check them out. Like I said in the beginning, check out all the different types of TIG torches they have. They might just have the one you need for a specific job you've got going on, and you never know, could be a game changer. Till next time, have a great rest of your week.